How's it going, everybody? This is Evan,
And I'm Katie.
and this is Pizza My Heart.
Should we say that at the same time?
No, what? What do you mean?
We could say Pizza My Heart at the
Pizza
same
My Heart. I
time.
thought you meant our names.
No! Kevin.
Hi, I'm Evan,
And I'm Katie.
and this is Pizza,
Pizza
My
My
Heart,
Heart.
a music review podcast.
That's also about food.
Especially instant food.
Our favorite.
Yeah, it's got to be quick.
Yeah, and I'm really hungry.
Yeah, me too. Today we're talking about Land.
By another Michael.
And how do we know about another Michael?
My cousin moved to Philly with them and is now their guitarist. So we've got the inside scoop.
Not the outside scoop.
Not the outside scoop.
Leave that outside. That's for the dog.
That's for the dog.
All
They
right.
have a dog. A wiener
Wait,
dog.
Who does?
Another Michael. They have a wiener dog.
In the band?
In the band.
Oh, no.
No, he just lives in their house. His name, I think, is Weenie. No, it's not. I don't know.
Beanie Weenie. Speaking of which, are you hungry?
I'm so hungry that I can't think.
Let's make food.
Great.
And we're back from the kitchen. Katie?
I'm really hungry.
Me
and
too.
So I'm really excited. And so we just made this instant food. This was supposed to be food from Japan because that's where I've been. So we haven't recorded in a minute, right?
Yeah.
But I chickened out because I knew that you couldn't take food on a carry-on. And then I ended up getting pulled at the end of the line as I was entering the thing to get on the plane, that little hallway. And they pulled me aside and they searched everything I owned.
Wow.
Yep. And yeah, the funniest part of that story is that it was a bunch of men who looked at me and they were like, "What did you do? We all look Middle Eastern. You're white." And I was like, it's the pink hair and
It's
the
the
nose
pink
ring.
hair,
I look
yeah.
like I sell drugs or like I have a secret rave.
You're eccentric.
Yep.
Like you might just have.
Yeah. And
Something.
it happened when I came back from Iceland too. And so it happens to me all the time. I'm not particularly concerned. So we don't have any cool instant food from Asia, but there was a ton of it in Japan and Hong Kong. So we went to the Irish Fest,
In Syracuse, which is where I just moved.
and that's where we're recording from today. And they
Very
had
exciting. Not being in Brooklyn.
a UK.
Exactly. They had a food section from, I guess it was just one booth that was selling specific foods from the UK. So there were some Cadbury bars of I think one was called Flake.
Yeah.
I think there was a Curly Whirly as well, which I've heard of, but I didn't know what it was.
I've never heard of a flake, but I've heard of curly whirlies.
There were some custard creams, some bourbon creams.
There were some biscuits.
Yes, those were, digestives, which, I mean, I've had. Those are fine.
They're made to drink with tea or to eat with tea. There was tea, obviously.
Eat your tea and drink your digestive. There were wine gums and brown sauce, which is not gravy.
There was like mustard mixed with, I even took a picture of it. There was mustard mixed with like whiskey.
Yeah, some whole grain mustard. And some salad cream, which is probably
Yeah.
just ranch.
Yeah, it was
I
by
imagine.
Heinz.
Yeah.
I thought it looked more like mayo. I wonder if it's a mix.
Maybe it is. Well, ranch is partially mayo.
I know nothing about ranch.
Me neither. One of the things that was there was a can of something called beans. But it wasn't just like a can of beans, like a Goya can, which is just the beans. This is beans where you put it in the microwave and
They grow giants. They're really special beans. No, we left the can in the kitchen,
Yeah.
which we should have brought into here.
Oh, no. I'm going to go get it. Talk about beans.
All right, so I made a joke earlier. It was beans, peas, and automobiles. Well, not so funny anymore without Evan to laugh at my bad jokes. Here he is, the man of the hour. So we've got these beans in a nice teal can, got the lift tab, pull
Yeah.
it back, real easy access, don't even need a can opener, perfect for cowboys.
Yeah, I don't know if we own a can opener yet. This is Bachelor's beans in
good.
Ireland's favorite sauce. So I think it's like baked baked beans, but I think it might be slightly different.
I'm thinking it's like those beans that you get when you get a full English breakfast.
Right. I would imagine.
And that doesn't taste like baked beans because they have like a brown syrupy sauce.
Okay.
And this is looking a little more red.
It's tomato sauce. So this says ingredients: beans 56%, same, and tomatoes 34%, and then water, sugar, salt, and et ceteras.
It sounds kind of good.
Yeah, so I'm cool with this. This is going to be good. Bachelors, Irish for beans since 1935. Man, I'm really Irish for beans right now.
I'm ravished Irish. That was bad.
That
joke.
wasn't anything, Katie.
That wasn't anything.
So and then we have another thing, but let's talk
they're
about
low in fat, and it's a source of protein and fiber.
the protein source
Ding.
of the future, beans.
Since 1935,
That
when they
one's
were
for-
invented.
Certain folks. So let's take a bite of these beans off mic.
Okay.
Katie,
Evan.
talk beanie to me.
Bean.
Oh. I was thinking the song by Poison.
I was in a different place.
You were doing the what is that, Jason Derulo?
Yeah. So I could really taste the sugar, which I thought was strange. But maybe that's just a thing that's happened to me since returning from Japan because
Is there not a lot of sugar in their food?
I don't think that it was like all pretty locally sourced. It looked and seemed and tasted like. And they had very specific flavors, so I just haven't had many sweet things since.
Right.
Which, because of that, it made me think of ketchup a little bit. Ketchup is kind of sweet. So it's kind of like they were in sort of a ketchup-y sauce, not quite a tomato sauce. So I'm a pretty harsh critic because anything that lists anything as tomato sauce, being, partially Italian, I think probably half, legitimately, if we're going there. Anyway, being socially cultural Italian.
We should check your genealogy.
We should check my genealogy, yeah. I actually don't. I hope I'm not Italian at all, but no, I'm just kidding. I love being Italian. It would just be funny on my genealogy. It makes me a really harsh critic of sauces because that's a big part of like my family's
Culture,
heritage
yeah.
and culture is making all these different kinds of sauces.
That's what the red on the Irish flag stands for.
Sauce
Yeah, green. It's green, white, and red, right?
doesn't stand for like blood of becoming an independent nation or anything.
No, I think it's tomato sauce.
You have to be kidding.
And then the green is basil.
And the orange is
Wait, orange.
the Irish flag is orange, not red. It's orange, white, and green. Am I colorblind?
I was talking about the Italian flag.
Oh. I thought we were talking about Irish people.
No, I was talking about
because
you.
Irish Fest. I was just telling Evan earlier how as you get older, you lose brain cells. Clearly, mine fell into the beans.
Yep.
I lost my beans.
There's the beans.
No, you're right. Yeah, it stands for sauce and basil. Yeah, that's exactly what the Italian flag stands for. I thought you were trying to like insult me by saying that another culture also made sauces as seriously as the Italians
Well,
do.
the Irish do apparently make a lovely beanie sauce. Did you like it?
It reminded me a little bit of ketchup, if I'm honest. But I thought
You said,
I
yeah.
thought it was good. And I think the other reason why I'm being a little harsh is that I was just in Hong Kong, and Hong Kong used to be owned by Great Britain. It was kind of leased for like 100 years, I think. I should check, but it was leased for some set amount of time. And so therefore, when you go to Hong Kong, people drive on the left, the steering wheels are on the left. They do everything on the left, like if you were in Britain.
Right. So you say leased. Do you mean colonized?
Yeah, but it was like the least because they were going to give it back.
Oh,
they only
I
wanted
see.
to own it for a certain amount of time.
So like a free trial of colonialism.
For a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And so now Hong Kong is special in that it's obviously part of mainland China, but they kind of do their own thing and they have all this British, obviously, history because they
Right.
were owned by Britain.
Well, it's not part of mainland China. It's like part of China, but it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, it's part of China.
Yeah.
It's an island unto itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I realize how stupid that comment just sounded. It is-
Someday Hawaii will be part of the.
It's every time the
Continental
waves
United
wiggle,
States.
it moves Hawaii closer to our ever-reaching hands.
Yeah.
No, but you could get a full English breakfast at a lot of places there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that's what I ate because I was very hungry every morning. I was only there for 2 days, so 2 times I had it.
Mm-hmm.
But the beans there were really good.
And
But-
I mean, these are canned beans.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It was better than the tofu wrap that we ate on last episode.
Oh, yeah. That was the worst. And we're coming back, which I think so far might be the best thing that we've eaten so far, these beans.
Yeah. Well, no, the first soup we did was okay.
Yeah, it was good, but I think if I had to pick one of these things to eat again, it might be the beans.
Oh, yeah. Well, you like beans, and I really like soup.
I am
so
a bean fan.
I'm a soup fan.
I did buy, I think I bought 3 cans of beans yesterday overall.
Wow. And that's what you ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
I wish.
No, we had some smashed potatoes yesterday.
Yeah, we did. That was also good, but it's not. I want to focus on the beans right now. It might also be that we're just really hungry. We haven't eaten yet today.
I've also been thinking that as well. But even if it was, like, if I was really hungry and they were not good, I still would have eaten them, but I would have known they weren't good.
Right.
I don't think my mouth was tricked into thinking that they tasted better just because I'm so hungry.
Right. Okay.
I will say they were a touch sweet for me.
I think I agree with that. It wasn't like a crazy amount of sugar, I don't think. Or maybe it is. I don't know how much is supposed to be in a can of beans, but I enjoyed that. I think that I might rank that number 1 on our list so far, and then the soup. But that's not the only thing we're eating today.
No, we have to try something else, actually. And I'm a little worried about it because I usually love this food. Should we say what it is?
Yes,
It's peas.
but it's not just peas.
It's smashed peas.
It's mushy peas.
It's mushy peas.
Mushy peas. Bachelors, which is, wait, hold on. So Bachelors is Irish for beans since 1935. This can says Bachelors is Irish for peas since 1935. Which one is it?
Maybe it's both. Maybe bachelors in Ireland only eat beans and peas.
I guess now that I think about it, maybe it makes sense because I think a lot of Jamaicans call beans peas. So maybe it's like just one of those things where beans and peas can mean the same thing and bachelors means both.
Maybe. It's not an and/or situation.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous about them, though, because they look a little bit like baby food.
It is definitely adult baby food.
And, I mean,
You know, like people who dress up as adult babies?
yeah.
This is what they eat, I assume.
They're ordering this in bulk from Amazon. I need my mushy peas.
Or they eat regular food. I don't know.
And then they mush it up.
I guess if you were to create a caricature of that kind of lifestyle, it would definitely be this. Let's clean off our spoons and dig into these peas.
Give it a whirl.
I'm not looking forward to this nearly as much as the beans.
Yeah. Okay, here you go.
You need to spit it out?
Nope, I'll swallow it.
Okay.
Oh.
We're all adults here.
I keep getting surprised by this creamy pea in my mouth. It's really bad. They're really bad. I'm so sorry, bachelors. Strange taste, delicious taste. Fucking strange. Ugh.
You didn't like it?
I couldn't finish.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to just swallow.
I get that. I've definitely experienced that before. This wasn't one of those times for me.
It definitely tasted like peas.
Well, it was peas. It is, according to the back of the can, 95% peas. Maybe it's the other part. Water, sugar, salt, colors.
Yeah, maybe I just don't like eating colors.
Maybe. How do you feel about yellow number 5? Which was Lou
Bega's
Bega's.
song. Yeah, the hit song by Lou Bega. 1, 2, yellow 5. Everybody in my pecan, so come on, let's eat 'em. You know, that song.
Yeah. That one definitely didn't go as well as his original. That pea-related content.
They could use some salt
Really?
and pepper and butter.
Salt and pepper. That's weird because one serving size is 370 milligrams of salt. There are 3.5 of them in the container. That means 370 times 3.5, which I imagine is some number.
Don't look at me and ask me to do numbers. They tasted slightly burned, in my opinion.
Really?
And I guess it's 3.5 if you have a mom, a dad, or at least two parents and a child and a toddler. It's the perfect can for you.
Oh my goodness.
The can for the nuclear family of peas.
You ate one spoonful and then I finished it because I enjoyed it pretty much.
That's good.
Yeah.
For you.
But I did just eat, what is this, 370 times 3.5, 1,000, 1.3 grams of salt, which is a lot. I probably shouldn't eat any more salt today because I have high blood pressure.
Oh.
Yeah.
The
Slightly
things
high.
we put our bodies through for this show.
Well, it probably didn't help that I ate, a walking taco, smashed potatoes, and a whole box of jalapeno poppers yesterday.
Ate McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
And smashed potatoes, and that McDonald's really messed me up. So there's that.
So McDonald's.
We're living like bachelors. It's fine.
And
living like bachelors, eating bachelors.
Yeah.
Island's favorites.
I think the beans were better. I enjoyed the beans very much. But I don't think the peas were bad. And I think this is where we diverge in the first time so far on this food portion, food corner. We've never really disagreed like this before. You literally couldn't eat it. And you like peas.
And I like peas.
And you don't like beans normally.
Nope.
And you were good.
Yep.
So what do you think it was about these? Have you ever had mushed peas before?
I mean, I've mushed them on my plate.
Right.
I don't know. It had like the consistency of a lima bean, but the taste was kind of off. But the pea was kind of big, but there's like this weird smush cream. It wasn't totally creamy. It was kind of chunky.
Yeah.
It was not nice.
Do you not like lima beans?
I do like lima beans.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I definitely felt like this was more like eating lima beans than peas, but I like lima beans and I like peas. So I don't know. Was it purely a consistency thing?
Perhaps. It's been that before. Was it the tofu scramble that I thought I had to scramble to the bathroom after we ate it?
But I definitely couldn't. I couldn't eat that either.
Yeah, we didn't finish that one. I don't know. This was beans. I give, like a 6 or a 7. Like they wouldn't be my first thing to buy at the grocery store. Mm-hmm. The peas I would never ever buy again. Like, well, I tried that. Bye.
I'm looking forward. Maybe I'll go to Ireland and just eat cans of beans and peas.
Neither of them touched the smashed potatoes we had yesterday. But
those were really good. But those weren't in a can. Like
they weren't. Well, maybe they were. I don't know.
Oh, good point.
I would go with the beans over the peas.
Easily. So if you're in the supermarket in Ireland or somewhere related to Ireland, like
anywhere
Northern
in the UK?
Ireland. Oh.
Like Northern Ireland.
Maybe you'll find Bachelor's beans and Bachelor's mushy peas.
Give them a whirl. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Write in if you've had either of these things, because I think this is the first time that we've got something that probably isn't readily available in the United States.
Yep.
And I don't know how long it's going to be until we do that again. So if you are from outside of the U.S. and you've had a bean experience...
If you've had a bean experience, please let us know.
Yeah. Tell us about your favorite interaction with beans.
I would just love to read your interaction with beans.
Yeah.
I said hi. It said hey.
We hit it off.
We held hands under the table. My mom wanted me to eat my whole dinner, but it was just too cute. Now I'm dating this bean. It's a little moldy.
Oh.
Well, I'm 26 now, so it's a 26-year-old bean.
Oh, right. You are 26, by the way.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yes, and things have changed.
Been a birthday of
There's
yours
been a
since last time I
birthday.
think we recorded.
Mm-hmm. There's been a birthday. I dyed all my hair pink.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to say you died.
I had my birthday and then I died. Ooh, feeling spooky. Well, I'm here in Syracuse and it is feeling kind of spooky outside. It's kind of overcast. It's kind of cool.
You know what? Maybe it is. It's all that worry pop we've been listening to.
Yeah, I've just been listening to so much worry pop the last month, getting ready for today, that it's just making me feel all spoopy inside.
And it's not just the beans.
No, it's another problem, but it's a good problem. It's another Michael.
We're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back with land. All right, it's fitting we are in central New York. I guess some people might consider it Western New York or upstate New York.
Nope, this is central New York.
Okay, central? All right.
I'm from here originally. Evan's not.
No, I'm not.
He's an imposter.
I'm a transplant. I went to Oswego for 4 years where we met, and then I went back home after I graduated. It's been a year, and now I'm here in Syracuse. So it's fitting that we are in generally north of New York City because we're talking about a band that is originally from north of New York City, Albany.
The capital of our state.
Which a lot of people don't know.
Really?
I mean, I'm assuming a lot of people don't know.
Oh, sure. I don't know. Probably.
I would imagine that most people in the world don't know that the capital of New York State is Albany.
I had a mean history teacher once.
Oh.
I had to learn like most of the capitals. But they started in Albany, yes.
Mm-hmm. And I guess moved to Philadelphia?
Yep, they moved to Philly. They're there
just
now.
Just like everyone else we talk about.
Yep, we can't get out of Philly, you know. Sometimes they say you're stuck here. Sometimes they say you're stuck there. We're stuck in Philly, which musically is not bad.
Yeah, and Philly has one of my favorite foods.
A cheesesteak with beans on it.
Ooh. No, definitely not.
Oh, sorry, Evan.
I usually get mushrooms on it, mushrooms and onions. Now I used to not be good with onions, and now I'm cool with them. We're buds. Yeah, I'm cool with Philly. I know some cool people in Philly as well. So shout out to people in Philadelphia who are listening to this. And if you're another Michael in Philadelphia and listening to this, double shout out to you. Let's talk about your EP, Land. It was good. All right, that's been Pizza My Heart.
It was great. Actually, some really exciting news about another Michael that maybe you should know before we talk about the album is they were just signed to Top Shelf Records, which is, you know them, then you know other bands that they've produced and done. But A Great Big Pile of Leaves, I know, is pretty popular, and they're also on Top Shelf Records. But that's a big milestone for them. They went on tour this summer for a while, and then they released this new EP, Land, through Top Shelf, and they also re-released something they had created earlier, also through Top Shelf. And those things are both available on their Bandcamp. I bought the cassette for Land, and it's a really nice, pleasing blue color. It has 4 songs on it. And
which one do you want to talk about? I mean, they're short. Let's
short.
Start with
well,
About.
You know what? If we're talking about, let's talk about About.
Let's talk about About.
About.
Kill the bees, scrape my knees, ride my bike, lose my keys in the dirt. Baby, everything's fixed, nothing's broken. All the doors and the lights in the hall. And I'm hoping that I could just lay here. And I'm hoping that you could just lay here. 'Cause Monday I'll be leaving for an hour or two. You've got your big TV in the living room. If I talk about you, then I talk about you. But I can't, and I won't. I know everything there is to know about you. I know your favorite song from 2002. If I talk about you, then I talk about you. But I can't, and I won't.
So nice. And you know what? I noticed on the bottom of their Bandcamp page where it says tags, it says pop, folk, home. Nice.
Philadelphia. That's a good tagline.
Yeah. Pop, folk, home, nice Philadelphia.
You've been living in the pop folk home in nice Philadelphia.
Oh,
or maybe it's Nice.
It's like where old pop artists live. It's the pop folks' home. Oh, how nice. Out there.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia freedom.
What do you have to say vis-a-vis About?
Well, I wish the lyrics were on Bandcamp.
Yeah, post the lyrics.
But I love it. I love that it kind of sounds like a list.
Okay.
And I just like that it's listy. And I even wrote that down in my notebook under the first impression. It just says listy.
Oh, I was wondering what that meant. I thought you were just trying to say listen.
No.
Oh.
I was saying this song felt listy.
What does that mean?
It just seems like someone's walking through their house, like making inventory about all the things in it. All the doors and the lights in the hall.
Okay.
I don't know. It feels like someone that's trapped in their house, but isn't trapped in their house and is breaking out of their house.
So it's like...
But feels like their soul is stuck there.
Maybe it's like being inside a memory palace.
Yeah, like when Elliot and E.T. runs away.
You're going to have to break that one down for me.
When Elliot and E.T. runs away, he's got on the red hoodie, and he's going to save E.T. from the scientist. And he's just like... He needs to be home. He has a hard tie to home, but he needs something else, something beyond. And of course, he doesn't go to space, but he just knows that he could go to space. And so there's that whole scene where he's like riding his bike away, and then later we see him riding that bike in front of the moon.
Right.
And that'd be a good music video.
Okay. So you're saying Steven Spielberg, email us if you want to recreate parts of E.T., but one of the members of this band is E.T., and then everyone else is...
All right, so there's only one girl in the band. Her name is Eleni, and so
Okay.
that makes her not the boys, so she has to then be E.T.
Is that how that works?
Well,
Are the two...
E.T. is the only alien in the room, and if Eleni is the only girl in the band... There are people who...
I guess E.T. probably... I guess if we wanted to be serious about, like, E.T. probably... I don't know if E.T. does have a gender, being from outside of our world, where gender is our construct. So I don't know that Eleni has to be E.T. I think E.T. can be anybody. I mean, Michael is the vocalist, right?
Yes.
So I think if we're going to make this video, then Michael should be E.T. No, it doesn't matter what E.T.'s
because then
gender
he
is.
could sing the song while
Exactly.
in the basket.
While, like, with, but his finger with the light, I've never seen E.T., but is probably a microphone or something.
Yeah.
He's singing into it.
And that's why you can't talk about him, because you know E.T. is in your closet with your
Right.
sister who's just a baby Drew Barrymore.
Yes, I assume.
Yeah. So if I talk about you, then I talk about you. And he knows everything because E.T. gets in your brain.
Is that true?
I think he communicates telepathically. Haven't seen E.T. since it was re-released in theaters, and that was probably in like 2008. So
Wow.
It's been a minute. But I'm loving this image. Michael, do you have any red sweatshirts? Put it on. Listen to this podcast while wearing a red sweatshirt.
Bike with a basket.
He might. They're in Philly. I feel
Yeah,
like that's a
that's a
Philly
good
thing.
point.
It also says nice people ride bikes with baskets.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. But besides the fact that it reminds me of E.T. so much, let's look at some actual real sciencey things about it.
About what? Oh,
The song.
about.
So-
in regards to about.
In regards to about, it builds up in tempo over the first minute of the song. It's not a very long song. It probably caps at its fastest part at like a minute, I would say.
No, I don't. It doesn't increase in tempo. It increases sort of in
Sounds,
pace.
pace.
Right? So the tempo is the same. It doesn't really feel as fast in the beginning because there's this organ part that starts it. And if you listen in the background, there is you can tell that the drum beat is as
same.
fast as it's going to be.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like
their words get faster.
Right, that's what I mean. Like the pace increases because there are more things. The pace increases because there are more things going at that tempo, and so it feels like everything is moving at that speed instead of just one thing, which is the drums. The drums are always pretty much going to be displaying the tempo as it is supposed to function, and so it builds up in that way. And there's this really interesting part where there's a guitar that comes from the background and it really builds and then it becomes very forward.
With my tongue stuck to my cheek. Spent an hour last night with my brother. Shoot the shit with a gun, don't be cheap.
having something
Appear.
not appear, the opposite of that, sort of be in an isolated part of the track, sound picture wise, maybe being in the bottom left. I don't know. I guess my sound pick, the way that I think of a sonic wall is probably not the same way other people do. But this guitar feels like it's low and to the left, and then it comes center. Does that make any sense?
I'm picturing my sound wall as just a little ET going up to the moon. But so I understand completely, actually.
Good.
It was a great visual.
All right.
Tool.
Yeah. All of the instruments. Okay, so this guitar is ET, and I think that's about it.
It's a really nice effect.
Is there anything you want to say about the lyrics?
Well, the lyrics are so fast that I know that I've said this before. I think I said this in our first episode, that I used to write for a music blog that doesn't really exist anymore.
Did you say this in our first?
I think it was in our first episode that people heard.
Okay.
Not the unheard episode.
We should make it very clear.
We will do that at the end of this podcast.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so I used to write for this music blog, and there was a lot of times where I had to listen to a song like 20 times and handwrite out the lyrics because they didn't have their lyrics posted. And I tried to do this with this song on the bus last weekend, and I couldn't get it. I have most of the words. I think the lyrics are really beautiful. I think they're really poignant. Did I pronounce that right? I hope so. I've only ever seen it written down on things.
Poignant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good. I feel like it almost builds some sort of weird, sort of dull anxiety. Like an anxiety that everybody has, but like it just is, everybody gets nervous about things.
Sorry, I started playing the song in Katie's headphones, and she freaked out. I apologize.
I short-circuited. It's about a feeling that I can't put my finger on because it's so generic that it's just really interesting to me that they were able to create this feeling in a song.
Okay.
And that's why I really like the lyrics of this song. Also, lyrically, I really want to know, who are we talking about? If I talk about you, then I talk about you.
Right, yeah.
Who is the you? I know your favorite song from 2002. You've known them for a very long time, clearly. You talk about your brother, so it could be your brother.
Right.
But I don't know. And in my head, because I'm insane, I picture either like some sort of weird lost love of like the neighborhood crush, or like, when you watch Pet Sematary and there's the really scary aunt who's like super old and like very sick, and she's like a big family secret, like hidden in one of the back rooms. Have you seen Pet Sematary?
No.
Hopefully.
I've never seen any movie.
Okay. Well, somebody out there, hopefully you've seen Pet Sematary. And in Pet Sematary, there's this aunt who has really bad scoliosis. Not saying that everyone has a scary aunt with scoliosis in their closet, but in Pet Sematary they do. And I feel like maybe the you is either like somebody that you've known forever in a good way, or somebody that you've known forever that's like also holding you back in some way. Even though, of course, family never holds you back, but there still is that.
I mean, I think some people would definitely say that family holds you back.
Yeah. I guess in regards to talking about sick people, I guess I would know, since I have an autoimmune disease, that like you can feel like a burden a lot, and your family and friends often say that you're not. But when you literally can't do things, you feel like you're a burden, even if they're telling you you're not.
Right.
So a lot of times when sick family members die, there is like a little bit of relief in two parts. One, that they're no longer in pain or ill, but two, that you can almost now live your life, like with more freedom. Which is why I kind of feel like that this song has to be about like the Pet Sematary aunt in the bedroom.
Okay.
But that's just an entirely, personal opinion lyrically.
Right.
What did you think?
It's very hard for me to get a clear picture of lyrics unless I'm looking at them. Because I just, like, if I'm listening to them, then I'm trying to keep track of what happened before while I'm listening to the new lyrics, and I just always lose it.
Okay.
So I guess one thing that I would say is the type of writing that is being employed here works very well. It's the kind of writing that I think I like in this kind of music. So, for example, I know your favorite song from 2002. It's an element of specificity that definitely connects between the writer and the subject, but it's not so specific that it seems overly specific just to be so. like in the song Closer. It's Closer, not Closer. Closer by the Chainsmokers. There's that one line that's like, we sang that Blink 182 song, which I assume that they just wrote so they could rhyme it with Tucson. So I don't trust the Chainsmokers to write anything genuinely.
Okay.
But that seemed like it was specific to be specific. It didn't feel like, if we assume that the song Closer by the Chainsmokers is actually written about a specific person, which I don't think it is, that person probably connects with that Blink 182 song. Mm-hmm. But who doesn't? You know, everyone
born in our generation probably has like a Blink 182 song that pops into their head when you hear that line.
Right. If you say that Blink 182 song, you're thinking the one that's Say It Ain't So, I Will Not Go Turn the Lights Off to Take Me Home. Or you're singing the one that's
Miss You.
I miss you. Don't
take a tissue because I miss you.
That's not.
It's a cover. It's a working cover. Yeah.
Don't waste your time on me. You're already the voice inside my head. I miss you. By Blink-182.
My head?
My head. Yeah, that's what he says. Have you heard the song recently?
It's my head.
Yeah, I know, but have you heard how he says it? He says, don't waste your time on me. You're already the voice inside my head.
Well, yeah, I just assume that's because he had that nasally punk accent.
Yeah, but like you can also say an H, you know?
Yeah.
Come on, Tom DeLonge, you know how to say an H. You're just choosing not to.
All right, fair enough.
But in this song, your favorite song from 2002 has a specific meaning to a specific person, because your favorite song, it's not that Blink 182 song, it's your favorite song. And 2002 is two.
Yeah, it's true.
It's mostly two. It's a number that's mostly two. 2002 is
a specific year,
but it's a huge period of time. It doesn't mean a song that was released in 2002. Or, I mean, it could, but it could also mean a song that this person connected to in 2002.
Which also means that they've known this person for a long time.
Right.
Because if you look up another Michael and you look at them, they're all between the ages of 21 and 24, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe 25. And so this is someone that they know very well.
Right.
And I would argue to say maybe, they would like to say, I think they do say in the song, I know everything there is to know about you, is the first line.
So
that's just
sounds like it's probably brother, honestly.
It could be.
If that's one of the options
but
we have, I
you
think
know
that
everything
is.
about your sick aunt in the bedroom too. she lives
so.
there. She lives there.
The painting goblin. But also, I think that a song should be able to connect to a specific person in a specific way, in a way that makes sense only to them. But also, it should be you should be able to understand that, even if your name's not Sarah, you know, or if your favorite song isn't a Blink 182 song, you know. I should mention mine would probably be "Girl at the Rock Show" because it was in the soundtrack for Splashdown, which was a jet ski based PlayStation 2 video game.
In 2002?
Maybe.
Wow. Well, if we're gonna go there, let's continue and let's go there, because song number 2 is called Go There.
Oh my goodness.
If you wondered why I kept making sentences where I could end them with go there, it was because that's the next song on this.
All right, let's
EP.
get to it.
Trying on coats in my living room, I don't know. Drinking another beer because I didn't go. All my life I've wanted pleasure, working closer with my distance. Leaves and rain are falling on my house again.
I like how that song looks. The bass is nestled in the center, bottom left. There's this sort of electric guitar part that sort of feels like raindrops up in the top right corner. Yeah, exactly that bit. It's real good. Some sort of watery pad synth that's all across the screen. It's a little wavy. I sound like you.
You do. We've switched roles. Well, that's interesting because while you were imagining that, I was thinking that we've listened to a lot of bands that we keep saying has this sound that sounds kind of like a cassette tape. This one doesn't have that.
Right.
But I looked that up because I wanted to not say that anymore.
Right. This is really well produced. This
Yeah.
has a full spectrum of frequencies at use.
Yeah, that cassette thing is called fixed bandwidth. And this doesn't have that. And I just wanted to say that I do know some music terms.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, oh, this is one of the first albums in a while that don't have fixed bandwidth, and I just wanted to toot my own horn.
Nice.
No, it sounded really beautiful, and I think that the guitar is supposed to sound like that.
Yeah.
Because one of the lines in the beginning of the song says that freezing rain is falling on my house again. And I think they are actually creating, through music, what that house looks like, what it feels like to be someone trying on coats in a window. And this one gets a little more personal because he says, I wrote your name with a pencil for the first time in months. And then he says, I called my granny in Ireland. So it's really interesting for the first time in years. So maybe it's good that these beans showed up today.
I wonder if Granny's eating
And
beans.
I guess Michael's last name is Doherty. And that's Irish, isn't it?
Yes.
So we were accidentally like right on point. Yeah. Why don't you tell us about real words?
Real things? I feel like I did a pretty good job already.
No, you did a better job than I do ever. It's fine.
Something that I found interesting is the way that they decide to stretch the words go there. And this is something that happens, I think, in a couple other songs where there are some places where I would expect something to happen and something else happens. Simple subversion of expectations, and I think that's one of the most interesting things you can do as a musician. I'm not the kind of person who wants you to subvert a genre or whatever, or do weird stuff necessarily. Weird's fine. Good, weird. We'll get to it next week. Well, not next week, but 2 weeks from now. You can just do very simple tweaks to a formula and create something that feels different enough that you don't feel like you've heard exactly that before, you know, to have something good. Basically, like, why should you listen to another Michael? Because they're not exactly this other thing. Because
They're worry pop.
right, exactly. I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
So
that's a new term for us.
they can
today.
subvert that genre all they want because I don't know what it is. But so go there. I would expect that if you were going to do the sort of descending melodic riff on Go There that happens in this song, you would extend go. You would extend the O sound because that is open. The way that the mouth constructs that vowel sound is a very comfortable place for your mouth to be in order to sing notes.
And it's also just easier to say, like from a linguistic perspective, than the vowel, consonant, vowel.
Which is where they actually do it.
Yeah.
So it's go there.
Eh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even, I mean, I'm not a good singer anyway, but
Right.
thanks.
Yeah.
No, we both know this.
That's not what I was agreeing to, but I was agreeing with you agreeing with me,
I
basically.
know. I know. Come on. I'm a good sport.
Yeah.
No, I really like that too. And it's also interesting because, I don't know, in the first two songs, go there, just go there. That
Right.
part, that like is the whole chorus. That's
Yeah.
it. It's like the shortest chorus ever. And the chorus is also slower than the rest of the song, the way that it's sung. And the same thing in About. It seems like the chorus is sung a little bit slower than the verses, which I think is an interesting thing that they do.
I think one of the things that stands out so much about this EP is that we're not finding as many comparisons to what they sound like. I think there's one really big one, which I'm going to talk about when we talk about track 4, because that's when it's most obvious. But other than that, there's not really too much, at least that I've experienced. And granted, I don't listen to so many things. I like to listen to what I'm comfortable with, I guess, a lot of the time. So, generally this project is good because it's giving me a chance to listen to new things. And this is new to me.
Oh, no, I was going to say that they're offering something new for me and that every time I see them live, I cry. Isn't that weird?
I mean, for me, that would be a weird thing for me to do. But
yeah, it's a weird thing for me to do because they're like this kind of fun, kind of Bobby like band, and their songs don't really feel explicitly sad.
Right.
I do think that Go There, the place that they're going is Ireland because he says he wants to visit her in Ireland, and so I think it like it circulates the whole song back to the beginning and creates a really beautiful narrative.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'm crying because I invent these literary narratives in my brain. Don't know,
Could
but. The whole, like, everything they do is so pretty, and they just look so calm and happy when they're performing that I've seen them 2, maybe 3 times live when they were in New York, and yeah, I've cried. So that's giving me something that, I mean, maybe all worry pop is supposed to make you cry. I don't know.
Let's talk about Connect. See if we can get any tears out of you.
4.
It's actually track 3.
It was a joke.
I know.
4.
I know it was.
Oh.
It wasn't a joke on anything, though.
It's a joke to my brain.
I stayed up way too late. I thought about it all. Is this the only place? Someday you'll prove me wrong. I'm still younger than my father when he moved here for adventure, and younger than the company we have here for nice parties. Trade motion to emotive singers telling me they're sorry. I try to connect, I try to connect, I try to connect, I try to connect, I try to connect.
Don't you just connect to that?
4.
Look, I tried.
See what it's like?
I think it makes me me. I'm trying to connect to other people, and I make it with bad jokes. I do really connect with this song because I feel like I have been going through something lately that has been helping me try to connect to other people. And my dad left the country when he wanted to leave for adventure.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about that a lot because I've finally been traveling abroad. I've been stuck on old faces. I think our listeners probably have gathered that I've gone through a breakup since our first episode, the first one you heard even, not even the one before that. And so I've been like trying to create, I've been trying to connect things in my brain. And yeah, sometimes the thoughts make you, trip and fall. Things happen and you're like, oh, I'm not where I thought I was. And there's a nice balance and like creating connections between like your heritage and what you should do because family tradition and like what you are and what you did in your past and what you are now. And do they fit because you're still you or do they not fit anymore because you're becoming a new you with each passing day? So I really like the lyrics because I think they give people that. But they could just be giving me that because maybe that's what I needed to take from it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. How did you connect?
It could be that.
I just went there. I just went real personal.
Yeah, just get into it. It's very difficult for me to connect emotionally with things generally, especially music.
And people.
No. What are you trying to say, Katie?
Evan's a robot. Haven't you
That's not
figured it
true.
out?
I just do a really good robot. Have you seen me do the robot?
No.
I'm really good at it.
Oh, I thought you meant like a beep boop, like impression, like
Oh,
I
no.
am Evan.
My name is Evan. I am a robot.
I guess I can. I mean,
The what?
Welcome to the PizzaMyHeart podcast. I am a robot.
Your mouth is making too many wet noises. I didn't know you could do the robot. You're gonna have to show me later.
yeah, we'll put on the Instagram when this episode comes out. So even though I don't really connect emotionally with the song and many songs and most art, I do like this song. And this is what I was talking about when I was saying subverting expectations. And I think it's especially cool when it's expectations that you set up within the song. I can't exactly, this is why I like to look at the lyrics.
Is it the part where they go, I've stayed up way too late.
Yeah, exactly.
I think about it all.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
just that little hesitation, which is only in the second verse or the second time that they go through those lyrics.
I've stayed up way too late. I think about it all. I've stayed up way too late. I thought about it all. Is this the only place someday?
And I just think that's so cool because they're setting it up one way, and then the next time you get it, it's just a little bit different. And I think that's a lot of fun. It's like when you are in a fight and you throw a 1-2 combination and you throw it 3 times and they're like, okay, now I know what he was going to do. And then the 4th time you do it or whatever, you just put a little hesitation behind that straight punch, and they're not expecting it. They put their guard up and then nothing hits, and then it comes down, and then you punch them in the face. I think it's a lot like that. And I just like doing the same thing a few times, and then the next time you do it, it's different. But it's only different a little bit because that's all you really need.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that a couple episodes ago, or maybe even last episode for that you guys heard, not the last episode. No, 2 episodes ago for you guys, it will be. We talked about how putting in just like a small part of a song or a small sound in one part of a song
Yes,
for just that one moment makes it. And so you can do the same thing here. You can switch it up for just like
Yeah, exactly.
whatever.
You would definitely get the temptation to do that again in the 3rd verse or the 3rd time that they say. I don't know if it's exactly verse,
But
chorus.
would it
broken
work
down,
there
but-
though? Because you have all
Yeah,
these
exactly.
these like 1-syllable words, and I didn't pay enough attention to the lyrics to say if they're not 1-syllable words.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But I don't know if it would work. I guess I
Right.
could listen to it at some other point.
I guess especially because there's the 3rd time that they say, I stay up way too late. But they do it regularly. Like the first time I stay up way too late. That goes right up into the chorus again, which is a great chorus, by the way. I think it's my favorite one on this song. Of course, it's a favorite one in the song. My favorite one on this EP.
You have 5 choruses in your song. My favorite chorus is the 3rd one.
I try to connect. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I think-
it's just fun. It's
Yeah.
fun and it's simple. And I see what you mean. Like that's the kind of thing that you could very easily chant along with someone if you're in an audience and you've heard that song for the first time. You like get it already.
Yeah.
And that's great. I think being catchy is one of the best things that a band can be.
Yeah, especially when it feels like meaningful, catchy, and not just like earworm. My
Like
ears
to-
are warm. Earworm.
To be like for the purpose of being catchy.
Yeah,
like
so
it's
like when
just,
it gets stuck in your head, you're like, oh, all right. And you're not like, oh my God, I have that song stuck in my
right,
head
exactly.
again.
Like one time I had the chorus to Cruise by Florida Georgia Line stuck in my head and I couldn't sleep and I was too hot and I was in someone else's bunk bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
You had a lot going on.
It was my first time ever spending the night with someone in college,
Okay.
which I guess maybe ever, sleeping over in someone's bed, and just genuinely sleeping. But like I wasn't sleeping because I couldn't sleep because I had Cruise by Florida Georgia Line playing in my head for 4 hours straight.
Oh, that is bad.
I know.
Well, the lyrics in this are all really nice.
Yeah, get this song stuck in my head.
I think
Get this
that
song stuck in my head.
this would be so. I've been listening to these songs a lot on the bus because I've been coming upstate a lot recently, and it just sounds really nice when I'm watching the like Poconos out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as music videos go, I think it has to be like a traveling music video with lots of B-roll of landscapes.
Sure.
Maybe of someone in more than maybe like someone who's touring and they they're just always on the move, so it's hard for them to make permanent relationships. I don't know, or friendships. Well, a relationship doesn't have to be girlfriend boyfriend.
Right.
But the lines are so catchy and they're so they're just so poetic. They're almost like you could turn it into a poem and it wouldn't have to be a song. And there's some songs that you can't do that to.
Definitely.
And there's some poems that you can't turn into songs. I remember one time you asked me for some poems to turn them into songs, and then
Yeah.
you said I can't use any of these, and I was like, all right, fair enough.
I'm pretty sure what you said was you're not trying hard enough.
Probably that too. I don't really know how it works. I've never really. Well, I've written a few poems that I think would actually work as pop songs, but I'm not a musician. But there's the one line that's I'm gone or running away from nothing like I am something. Gone like the penny in my pocket and the drum key. And if that was a poem, the kind of the A-B scheme is very pleasing.
Yeah.
Because the the penny in my pocket and the drum key shouldn't really go together as nicely as they do because they do not rhyme in any conventional way.
Oh, yeah. Well, they also, you know what else doesn't rhyme? Adventure and nice parties. But they...
Yeah, that's true.
But they are set up, their end line, they are end of the line.
They're set
Not
at the
necessarily...
same. They're set at the same pace, so like some of the
same
syllables.
like part in the measure.
Yeah.
So basically, it's where you expect a rhyme to be, and there's no rhyme
No,
there.
but it sounds
And
like
it doesn't ever
rhymes.
come back. It doesn't sound.
It does. It feels like it rhymes because
It's supposed to feel like it
they
rhymes.
smush and elongate certain syllables to make the length of the word the same.
Right. It's delivered like it's supposed to rhyme, but it doesn't at all. And then the next line rhymes with the second line, nice parties. I forget what that is rhymed with, but that rhymes, and it never comes back to the A, which is interesting. I think that's cool. Honestly, my first response is, oh, that's weird. It sounded like they tried to rhyme and they just didn't. But then you think about, oh, okay, they did that on purpose, and it doesn't need to rhyme.
And they do it more than once, so you realize, like, oh, this is
Right.
a thing that's supposed to be happening. They didn't make a mistake.
Exactly. And it's like you're trying to connect the two lines with a rhyme, but it's not there the first time, and it's there the second time. Yeah, Katie is doing the head exploding motion.
Another Michael. Did you know you were so philosophical? Because you are, man.
All right, this podcast is already pretty long, so let's talk about score, and then let's wrap it up. Here's a little bit of track number 4. 4, score. And 7 years ago.
It's also 4 minutes long. Cool. That's a nice surprise at the end of the song.
I like that. That's a good way to end an album. This song is a good way to end an album.
It's 4 minutes long. It's song number 4.
It doesn't feel like it's 4 minutes long.
It doesn't feel like it's 4 minutes long, which is
is
good because
very
sometimes
good.
long songs feel really long.
They can feel twice as long if there's not really that much happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening here, and it sounds a little bit to me like a mix between some James Blake stuff and some Bon Iver, as I called him. I was like, oh, this song's pretty
No, you said Bon Iver.
It's pretty Bon Iver. But then I was trying to set myself up to say it's Bon Ivory.
Right.
To say like Bon Ivery. But
Bon Ivery.
That sounds like a French word. Bon Ivery. We think you sound a little bit like Bon Iver, but the good parts are not the song
No,
titles.
just like, I don't know, like the beginning, and there's some vocoder kind of thing. I don't know if it is necessarily that, but it's reminiscent of that on the vocals. It's nice. It's such a good feeling. We listened to this album while playing Wii U, but this is like a good Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, relaxing kind of album. You're just chilling out.
And it's a good album for the fall.
Yeah.
So I
And
know
it's
that I was
super
very
short. It's
impatient
like
and
12
waiting
minutes,
for it.
but you can loop it.
You could loop it, and it would feel like, oh, I don't mind. I'm listening to this again. It's fine.
Exactly.
I was waiting for this to come out for a long time because I kind of had, as we discussed earlier, the inside scoop. So I knew that there was some talk with some people about a label and et cetera, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting and feeling very impatient. And then it came out like right before fall, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
Because now it can be everyone's fall album, and it really does feel like fall.
I guess what I just want to close up saying, doesn't he sound like Nate from Fun?
He does sound like Nate from Fun.
And this song, it's just so clear. It's really hard not to think about it. And I think they don't sound like Fun. I mean, I just see like there's a little bit of crossover But it doesn't really sound like that except for his voice. It's just hard not to think about it.
Yeah.
Which I think can be tough. If you have what some might consider a unique voice, it's technically not unique because these are two people who sound the same, and that's by definition not what unique is. It's one person. But like, it seems like it should be unique, and then you find someone else who is like, oh, this is really, it just stands out in the same way. And I think that can be tough, but at least it's someone who's got a good voice, you know?
Yeah. Well, we talked about this yesterday in the car, actually. There's a band, I think it's from the UK. I don't know, don't quote me, but they're called Dog is Dead, and they also kind of sound like fun. Mm-hmm. And since I have the inside scoop, I happen to know that my cousin likes that band a lot. Mm-hmm. And since I know that these people were friends in college, I wonder if they all also like Dog is Dead, perhaps. And I wonder if, like, because sometimes the things that we sound like or write like or sing like or whatever are often inspired by things that moved us at certain points in our lives. So I kind of wonder if they all liked them. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with influence. And it feels like influence. It doesn't feel like imitation. Mm-mm. And I think that's the most important thing. You can sound like Nate Ruiz from Fun.
I don't know that much about Fun or Nate Ruiz.
They're good. Fun's good. If you've only heard their second album, listen to Aim and Ignite. That was their first one, and it's real good. But that's not. We're not here to plug Fun.
No,
we're here to talk about another Michael.
And to congratulate them on like being signed. You deserve it. I hope you get many, many opportunities, and then maybe someday when you're big and famous,
we'll buy you a can of beans.
We'll buy you a can of beans, but also you can be like, yeah, I heard about them on PizzaMyHeart when they first got signed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of deal.
Crack open a cold can of beans with the boys and listen to Another Michael. Their EP Land. You can find it at anothermichael.bandcamp.com. You can also find it on Spotify.
You can also find it on iTunes, which
Apple
is where I
Music,
have it.
Most likely.
You can buy the cassette. It's a nice blue color.
Let's stop right here.
Look, I bought it.
Do you have a cassette player?
Yeah, I do.
Where?
In my room in Brooklyn.
Like just a standalone cassette player?
Well, it connects to my stereo. It's like from a stereo.
Oh, I see.
It has 2 cassette decks. You can record to it. Because I was thinking about doing some like weird loop to tape recordings of sounds. Yeah. So I do have one. And they're like coming back because I was at Urban Outfitters at the end of the school year last year. And they were selling Walkman again. So like analog is in. It's back.
It's in, but it's like not an efficient way to listen to things.
No, cassette never really sounded good. But it's fun. They're light. They're small. They're cheaper to make. They're cheaper to buy.
It's not cheaper to make than a digital file.
No, but if for someone that wants to hold it in their hand, like people that are against Kindles, have to buy a real book, it's like light. And you can make them really cool colors.
Evan is anti-cassette and you're pro-cassette.
Yeah, I'm really smiley about it.
I guess I'm not anti-cassette. I just think that it's... Okay, if you like cassettes and you want a cassette, buy this cassette. It's 4 songs. It's worth having on cassette, I guess, if you like them.
At the very least, buy the digital album.
Don't invest in stock on cassettes, I guess is what I'm saying. I personally think it's kind of dumb, but if you don't think it's dumb, this is what you should get.
At least buy the digital album, and if I don't think is it a pay as you wish?
It's $4 or more.
Okay, good. Because, yeah. Congratulations, Another Michael. We would rate you very highly on our strange taste to delicious taste
strange
food scale.
Fragrant.
This has been PizzaMyHeart, a podcast on beans, peas, and Another Michael. Beans, peas, and automobiles, and Another Michael. Try some beans, try some peas, get your protein, get way too much salt into your body.
Oh my goodness.
And then as you're peeing a lot because you just ate so much salt, listen to Another Michael while you're doing all the things that you need.
Wait a second. I know for a fact that when you eat a lot of salt, you pee less.
Okay. Well, all right. But listen to Another Michael.
Yeah.
They're on iTunes, Bandcamp.
Everywhere.
They're everywhere now. Yeah. And it's great. We're so proud of you.
And if you can, get yourself some beans.
Yeah. Evan would rather have you buy beans than
the cassette tape. Yeah. If the cassette tape is full of beans, maybe, then it's worth something.
That's messy.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Peace.
Peas.
Peas of my heart.